Our session chairman is Mr. Sujiva Rajapaksa. Mr. Sujiva Rajapaksa is the president of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. He is the managing partner of BDO Partners. He represented Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka in South Asia Federation of Accountants as a board member, and also in the Confederation of Asia Pacific Accountants as a technical advisor. Now I invite Mr. Sujiva Rajapaksa to address.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Vatavala and the team, let me first thank Professor giving me this opportunity to chair this important session. I'm sure that you would have heard a lot about sustainability theories, practices and things like that. This session is going to be very interesting. Why? Because we are going to talk about the practical aspects of sustainability, or maybe sustainability practices in certain business sectors. So we are 10 minutes behind the schedule. I know if you want to have a sustainability, I think we have to manage our time as well. I will have a very short introduction. You are aware that sometimes our economic structures and policies, principles and formulas and things like that, introduced or invented by various people in the past, in the history, would have probably led for us to adopt certain practices for production of articles and providing services. As a result, sometime we would have adopted certain professional law, unprofessional law, ethical law, unethical practices. That is because of huge competition. And you are looking at your bottom line sometime, and you are looking at sometime your top line. Because every year you want to have a growth in certain things. But as a result of that, sometime we tend to lose our focus. We tend to lose our the values, and you may have your vision, mission statements in your books, but if you really drill down to see whether we have really done the needful, but sometimes you may question yourself whether you have done it. If you go back to 19th or 20th century, where you are aware about coal mining, or maybe chemical industries were booming very well. But as a result of that, a lot of environmental pollution took place in the world. Even in one of the major economies, let us say UK, could not really control certain things. Then only people were thinking about, because it affects to our human life directly. It affects to our so many factors directly. Then people were thinking about that. Then there were groups in the society who were really talking and going against certain things. Look here, we are talking about, now we heard about ozone layer, I think about some years ago. All this time we never heard about these things. Then what happened was, industrialists were very concerned about, look here, have we been doing the correct thing? Have we done the right thing? Or should we again reprocess, re-engineer, re-look at our processes? So that's how I think then we are talking about. You would have seen when you go to the shop, when you want to buy something, that says, look here, eco-friendly or e-friendly or environment-friendly or so many things. So that's how people were trying to think about this. In the meantime, there are certain other sectors in the market, in the society. You have financial regulators. You have other people like Institute of Chartered Accountants and various other people who look at and maybe started formulating certain policies, principles and things like that. Business sector who are here today, I'm sure that they will take us through in various practical scenarios, how they have done it, how they started, then how they have transformed and what they have done so far, and as a result, what is the benefit that they have given to the society. I think which is very important. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you now to save our time, please make sure that if you have, you will definitely have enough questions. Make sure that you may have, I think, small piece of paper, Professor, you would have given, and make sure that you write your answer, your question, and send it across to me. I will certainly discuss with them. Let me, without taking much time, let me first, we have got anyway 4 eminent panelists here. I had a discussion with them. I'm sure they will take us through with their own immense experience that they have been having last couple of decades, I must tell you, not couple of years. And let me first introduce my first speaker, Santosh Jayaram. Again, in fairness to every one of us, to save time, his profile is given in your booklet, but yet, you know, it's my duty to tell who he is. I'll only, I hope that you may agree with me, Santosh, if I read only last 2 paragraphs of this. Yes, thank you. And he's a member of the Standard Committee of Accountability UK since 2009, Director and Chairperson of Professional Standards Committee, Consortium of Humanitarian Agencies, Sri Lanka, November 2006 to July 2008, a working group member of developing the GRI G4 guidelines from April 2012. He has a Bachelor of Technology, Mechanical Engineering, University of Calcutta, India, and Master of Technology, Environment, Science and Engineering, again, Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai, India, and Executive Education Program covering Sustainable Technologies, University of California, and Berkeley campus. I think Professor Vatawala has selected the best people, and Santosh, over to you, and you will be given 25 minutes, and maybe I'm sure that you will manage your time. In case if I feel that, okay, you have gone beyond 20, I'll just give you a small, small indication, and you can certainly limit your presentation for 25 minutes. Thank you very much. Over to you, Santosh.
Respected chair of the session, other speakers on the podium, ladies and gentlemen, or rather I cut the discrimination part of it, gentle ladies and gentlemen. I would be one of the minority in this gathering since I'm not an accountant or an economist, but thanks to SAFA and CMA for inviting me to share a kind of a presentation which I thought how the sustainability landscape in business is now coming around. So that's what I'm trying to cover through this presentation. You have heard the last 2 days from various speakers on how the new business landscape, I wouldn't say it's evolving, it's already evolved. Great speakers. Wow, what a first session we had in the morning. So I would say if you have not got this till now, there is very less probability that you will get it. So it's already in. So if you really look at the forms of value has changed from assets and financials to brand and reputation, intellectual capital. Yesterday, Suresh from DEMO made a fantastic presentations on the various capitals and how integration of strategy is important. This is kind of a nutshell representation of some of those. Having said that, the term sustainability for different people is kind of different. For some, it talks about achievements. For some, it talks about employee retentions, attractions. For some, it talks about greening. For some, it talks about efficiency improvements. But that has been the biggest challenge with this particular subject as well. Different people talk about different things when it comes to this topic. The overreaching goal, let's say, that why we are talking about sustainability is or yesterday I saw a good definition where he said that it's the organization's effort to contribute to the sustainable development. What's sustainable development? I mean, this has been very early, it has been defined with the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future to meet their needs. Okay, so as an organization, when you talk about sustainability, how well it is aligned to the global sustainability. Our biggest challenge has been that, because many businesses or many corporates or many governments have been talking about sustainability with more of a self-centric kind of an approach and not directly linking it to the global sustainability. So when you say business sustainability, it is not about sustaining the business. It is about how the business contributes to the sustainable development of this planet. This is the blue planet. I mean, we still are yet to live in Mars. I mean, this is the only planet which we have, and how are we going to protect it? Keeping this challenge in mind, there are some questions which we need to ask ourselves. How do we align the strategy towards the sustainable development? And that's what is business sustainability. Having said that, the more you think long, the convergence would happen. The more you think short, the convergence is not going to happen. And working in this field of sustainability, I think one of the biggest challenges I face in convincing companies is the quarterly results. People jumping after one quarter to the other quarter, that's the biggest challenge against sustainability. You are all accounted, most of you, and I thought I will just present how the financial world is looking at this. I mean, they have woken up in the last 5 years, I should say that. I mean, some of the other fraternities are yet to wake up. I think the marketing and those kind of people are yet to wake up. Anyway, the financial world has woken up in the last about 5 years. You would find some of those publications which people talked about earlier. I was intrigued by the title on the second one, which says Professional Accountants as Integrators. Till I read that, I never thought that the accountants can save the world. When you look into the inclusivity by the financial sector, some of the examples like the banks, they follow what is called as the equator principle, which is gaining popularity, where the project financing is linked to the sustainability performance of the project. So they do some kind of a filtering before they lend the money. Then, of course, on the investor side, you have the principles of responsible investment. Then you have the socially responsible investment funds. Carbon Disclosure Project, it's a kind of very interesting. On behalf of about more than 550 institutional investors with assets worth more than about 71 trillion US dollars. That's the kind of people who are interested in the carbon disclosure of the company. So you can really see how well some of these things are linked to future business. Then, of course, there are the rating agencies which talk about the socially responsible investment indexes. In India, we had it from 2008. We have an S&P ESG index, Environment, Social and Governance Index, which has completely outperformed the normal market index. So it's clear that some of these companies who are doing good in social, environmental, and governance practices are outperforming the others. And a couple of my friends in Sri Lanka are working towards some of those indexes, and you will hear pretty soon there will be some index which will be coming out in Sri Lanka to differentiate those companies who do good in these spaces. People talked about this. The Securities and Exchange Commission in India suddenly came out one day and said that the top 100 listed companies has to publish what is called as a business responsibility report. Good thing. But they never defined the top 100 as of what date. So it's still a little tricky because day by day the top 100 can shift. So we still don't know who is the top 100 and who is supposed to publish it, but then things will be more clear as we go along. So these are some of the things which are happening in the financial world. I find the people in the financial world making sustainability as an inclusive agenda, which is pretty good. talk to the CEOs or the CXOs, what you say, you will find this is a study done by Accenture in 2011, which asks the question to the C-level executive as to, you embarked on a journey of sustainability. How did it help you? You can see almost 72% said that it gave them higher returns or much higher returns. Clear case. So no one can resist an idea whose time has come. So it's more like in the early 90s, the quality revolution which stepped in. Those who were early to embrace it, they reap the fruits, but then it will pull all of you in at some point of the time. If you are not ready, you will be pulled in kicking and screaming. So rather than that, get ready on it and go ahead with it. Now I bring it to a kind of how do you institutionalize this into the business scenario? The goal, sustainable development. And for a business, there are two sides of it. One is more of an opportunity side. If you really clearly know what are the risks coming out of from this particular space, you can be ready and you can capitalize on some of those things. So it's more of a connect to the risk management of the business. The second one is, of course, there is a demand from the society for you to conduct your business in a more responsible manner. So you are catering to two sides, and I really like this title when it talked about sustainability and corporate responsibility, because a responsible business is what would lead a corporate to be more sustainable. Is that a different approach? Yeah, slightly. You can say that you're talking about balancing the organization's impact on environment, society, and economic performance. For example, I take one of my favorite examples of the beverage industry, who pick water from the ground, make a saleable product out of it, and sell it to all of you. Now, let's talk about that. There is a very clear economic model which works. But then look at it, the impact on the environment, the impact on the society. So until and unless you integrate the impact on the environment, impact on society as part of your business strategy, I don't think that business is going to sustain for long. You are going to get into bottlenecks everywhere you start a new operation. Transparency, it's on the increase. You need to be more transparent. And of course, the stakeholder dialogue. When I say stakeholder dialogue, it's more of how well you take the stakeholder expectation on board and make that as an input to the decision-making process. That's very critical. If you ask any company, do you engage with stakeholders? Everybody would say, oh yeah, we do. We do engage with our customers. We do engage with your employees. We do engage with our suppliers. We do engage with the community nearby. Good. But then how well those inputs are becoming part of your decision-making process, that's very important. So managing sustainability is about, a whole list of outside environmental issues or issues are prevalent there. How you prioritize some of them, how you communicate, how you engage with the stakeholders, and on top of all these things, how you plot the business risks and performance. So it's kind of a whole plethora of things over there. Where do we start? And that's where I think we need to look into the contribution of risk management. And this is something which people would listen for. When you say you have a risk to business, yes, people would listen for. For the past 5 years, the success of this subject, sustainability, is because people started realizing the risk. We are entering into an era where there's going to be a scarcity for any resource. We have been working in a business environment in the past decade where we have plenty of things to work with, but we are entering into an era where there is going to be a scarcity for everything. So, in adopting a risk management approach, the way you look at it, sustainability as an umbrella, it covers a whole lot of topics. I've tried to list some of them. Look at them. Every one of those can pose a risk to your business. Of course, something like bribery and corruption, somebody yesterday took the excuse of a 30-year-old war to evade bribery and corruption, but I don't think as a business you can afford to do that. Or am I going to improve my operational efficiency? Or, for example, how well it will help me to build my reputation and brand? Or is there a new market where I can access? Or even, can I access some new capital? So if you start plotting these aspects, which I have put over there, against the value drivers, you can really come out with a way by which you can quantify the risk. And this is something the risk managers in every organization has to start bringing in. But for you to keep that, you have to keep your horizons a little longer. If you keep the horizons a little shorter, this wouldn't work. It's about people. I mean, the behavior of the people. The organizations are composed of the people. Effective risk management, it's about the people having the correct risk behavior. So every individual in the organization has to be aligned with the value systems of the company. Even 1%, 2% moving out of it can cause major issues with the organization. I don't have to tell you regarding some of the scams in the financial world which has happened. A couple of people who deviated from the value systems of a particular company, it brings down the whole of the organization. So it's about people, and when we say we will have to go out there to every person in the organization and align them towards an organizational value system. This is challenging because the expectation from the stakeholders is going to keep on changing. What they expect from you today is not the same tomorrow. So you will be always chasing a moving destination. You will not reach anywhere in this journey. You will keep on improving, but as you improve, you be ready that the stakeholder expectation has changed from one level to the other level. So it's kind of, you are always chasing a moving destination. Okay. One more trend which I want to say is that the organizations are becoming responsible and sustainable, but then we have the consumerism growing. We saw a band of the middle income growing, the higher middle income growing. More and more people are buying more things. How do you address that? Until unless the products and services become more sustainable, we cannot address it. So we are going to get into an era that, okay, it's not just the corporate which is going to be sustainable, but every product and the service which you are putting out there need to be sustainable. You would have heard almost all retailers, whether it is Walmart or whether it is M&S, everybody talking about they are going to reserve shelf space for sustainable products. Although they have not defined what is sustainable product till now, but then they all commit that they will be reserving shelf space for sustainable products. That's going to be one of the major shifts going forward. The critical ingredient in any organization going through this part is the leadership. I compare the leaders of any organization to the sailors of the past. Means the Columbus and the Cook and all those people. You set the direction, and the able crew knows how to take you there. And it's important for you to set that direction. In one of my customers, which is Infosys, I take that as an example here because last year, the CEO, Krish Gopalakrishnan, went to the World Economic Forum and I heard him speak. It was a shocker to me. He went there and said that Infosys is committed to become carbon neutral by 2018-19. I mean, it came as a shocker to me. I've been working in the carbon space for quite some time to understand the repercussions of that. What is this guy talking about? I mean, he's going to spend quite a lot of the shareholder money in making a company carbon neutral. And what benefit does he get out of it? It was kind of a shocker to me. This year, as part of the work which we do with them, I got a chance to interview him. And the very first question I put him is that, did you really know what you were telling there? And he said, no. I heard quite a lot of climate change. I heard quite a lot of the things which are happening around the world, and I just felt the need that as a leader in the business, I have to commit myself. I just committed it. Then I came back and told my guys that we need to do this. Okay, how do we do that? Today they have a fantastic roadmap in terms of how they are going to achieve it. They have a month-by-month roadmap on how they are going to achieve this. They have a clear roadmap as to how much of the renewable energy which they are going to procure on an yearly basis. Might go up to about 45% of the energy requirement would be coming from the renewable side. And then, okay, we do a lot of business travel, we do a lot of other things which need to be offset. Now, where does the money come from for the offset, okay? They said, we will be doing a lot of energy efficiency programs, and we will create a kitty where we will park the money which comes from the energy efficiencies, and through that money, we will fund the offsets. So you can find that a leader's commitment over there being translated to real possibilities by an able team. But that visionary approach from the leader is necessary in each one of your corporate. And you can take the examples, all the speakers here would be coming behind me, and I'm quite sure that they will say that from where did they get the idea? The leader said so. And one of the great leaders I admire the most. Before any of us even invented the word sustainability, he knew what he was talking about. This is a company which gave the world the 8-hour working. This is a company which gave the world the maternity leave scheme. This is before even it became norms. So as a corporate or a business, if you want to take the sustainability route, there are many ways for you to do that. So you can take it from a business case angle, and you can focus on some of the critical things. Aditi, if she would have been there, would be very happy. You can even take from a reporting angle, or you can even look into the management and performance. But then some of those stops over there are kind of, you need to pass through each one of them. So there is no shortcut for you to really complete this journey. Towards the end, only a couple of slides, and I would say, I took this from the book by the name The Idea of Justice from Amartya Sen, the Nobel laureate. Although many of the books beyond my understanding, but something he told in this book caught my attention. He said there are 3 things which you need to care for. One is the niyat, niti, and the nyaya. How it works out is that niyat, I know even in Sri Lankan it would be the same. It talks about the inner convictions and intentions. That's where the leadership angle comes. But then that's not sufficient. Even if you have that, you need to have the niti. That's where the codes, instruments, institutions, norms, all those things come to your support. It is only with both these things, the niyat and the niti, you can deliver justice to the society. So I stop there, but I would give you the last thing. This is kind of the laundering of the word sustainability. It's more like the earlier days we used to launder the word green. Everybody talking about green, green, green. Today that has changed to sustainability. We are talking quite a lot. Look at the number of conferences, look at the number of, but are these words really turning into reality? If that has to turn reality, I think the word sustainability itself should go down. It has to become a reality by which the business conducts its business. There's nothing called as a sustainable strategy. It is the business strategy. We have to drop the word sustainability if you have to make a contribution. Thank you. That's it from me.
Thank you, Santosh. I think you manage your time, maybe about 2 minutes before the time you completed. Thank you very much. Always, in a board or in a family or in our own team, I think we should have a female. Then it gives a different kick, I think. We are fortunate to have a female here in my team. That is Ranga Ranmudugala. Am I correct? Ranmadugala, right, sorry. Let me introduce, of course, again, I think her profile is here with you, the document. Ranga is the CEO of the Brandix underwear business located in Sri Lanka and Visang, India. I'll give you only the brief, and she leads a company that has grown rapidly with world-renowned apparel brands such as Victoria's Secret, Marks & Spencer, Pink, H&M, La Senza, DBA, Lane brand, holding the preferred vendor status with most brands in the underwear products segment. Ranga's career in apparel spans over 15 years with functional expertise in finance, sourcing, marketing, manufacturing, and general management. She holds an MBA from University of Sri Javadalpura, Sri Lanka, and is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, UK. Let's see what Ranga is going to tell us about her case. Over to you, Ranga.
I'm from Brandix, and just to give you a glimpse of the sustainability journey that we've had for the past couple of years, I thought I'll present the business case study. So first of all, who is Brandix? Just a glimpse of Brandix. We're a Sri Lankan company. We've been around the country for a long time, I think 35 years or so. But now we've expanded our operations from Sri Lanka to India and also Bangladesh. We employ about 44,000 associates across the 3 countries, very South Asian. And we have our operations in terms of apparel manufacturing as well as supply chain processes. So we are very, very conscious of the fact that we are using a lot of natural resources in terms of dyeing, in terms of processing in our business.